Yeah, hi there. These comments, I'm going to just use the first initial of your name, M. And this is Michael. I am the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at Stealth, the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And you just completed my independent writing practice test number 28. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to go over your essay and take a look at your organization, development, and also your language use. And then I'm going to give you a score, okay? So anyway, thank you for completing the practice test, first of all. And let me go click on the rubrics here for just a second. Okay, here we go. All right, so what do we know? Let's take a look at your introduction. So in the introduction, it's a little bit odd to say, I oppose the idea because of noise and unsafe. How about because of noise and safety issues? But then also you agree with it. So instead of opposing it, how about acknowledge the opposite views? So you might say, and maybe before you get to the question here, you might say, most people, when they have free time, they like to entertain themselves. Sometimes, to entertain themselves, they may go shopping. In other cases, they may go to the beach and go swimming. And in even other cases, they may decide to go to the movies. Now, movie theaters are an important entertainment factor for different ages. Now, some argue that if a movie theater is built near their neighborhood, they may oppose the idea because of the noise and the safety issues. Despite these objections, I agree that a movie theater should be built near my neighborhood. That's how I would begin your introduction. So instead of saying you oppose the idea, present it as an opposite view that some people hold, and then you can take your position, which you do in your thesis. So that would be one of my recommendations based on the introduction there. But you do have, you got your thesis. There are several reasons which make me agree strongly. You have new impulse for cultural life, extra working place, and new source of income for local business. So you definitely have what I call a 3-point thesis, which does organize, your ideas. So you kind of know what you're doing here. Now, the new impulse for cultural life, when you say impulse, that means it's offering more cultural opportunities for the people in your community. So you say, building a theater can help reduce the amount of crime by spending time. Also, it can help families spend time together. I don't think you want to do that. There's maybe 2 problems with your second paragraph. Number one is when you talk about reducing crime, that doesn't relate to a new impulse for cultural life. There's no connection there. And then you bring up another idea about being able to spend more time with families, but that's really a separate idea. So you're putting too many different ideas in this paragraph, and you're not taking enough time to develop each idea with adequate supporting details. Now, if we go with your thesis, if we go with your topic sentence and say, well, the first reason why a movie theater should be built near my neighborhood is it will give a new impulse to the cultural life in my area. Then you can say something like this. Sometimes at the movie theater, they will have international films. In other words, I might be able to go to the movie and learn more about the culture of Afghanistan or Iraq, or I might be able to learn more culture about France or the United States by watching the movies. So if you use the idea of new impulse for culture life, if you use that as your topic, you got to prove that. You got to develop that idea with relevant supporting details, but you didn't do that. Now, if you don't like that topic, you could certainly say, building a new movie theater near my neighborhood will cause a significant decrease in crime. And then you can spend the rest of that particular paragraph showing the causal relationship between building a theater and how it will reduce crime in your area. All right, so I think your second paragraph probably needs to be a little bit better organized. Okay, let's go to your third paragraph. You say the second issue is that extra working place. When you say second issue is, I would be a little bit more specific there. You might say, secondly, building a movie theater near my neighborhood will provide more jobs. That's probably a better topic sentence because it better connects to the actual writing prompt that you see. And then, of course, you talk about new chance for labor market. If there's many markets, that means needs employees. It can decrease the problems of. But you're writing in generalities. But what you can do is you can think of the movie theater and say, okay, you might want to say, if the new movie theater is built, it's very likely that other businesses will come to the same area, like fast food restaurants, maybe shopping centers, and other areas, other retail shops. And even in the movie theater will have people who are selling the tickets. They might have workers who are selling the popcorn and the soda drinks. They might even have a worker who operates the video games and things that they might have inside the theater, and they even have to have a person who checks people into the different movies and making sure that they find where they need to go. So you might want to say, in other words, building the new movie theater will create a lot of jobs, not just at the movie theater, but at the shops nearby that relocate. So that would probably be a little bit better, more specific discussion there. Okay, let's take a look at your fourth paragraph. You see the final issue is that new source of income for local business. Again, you want to repeat something about the movie theater. You'll say, finally, building a new movie theater near my neighborhood can create a new source of income for local business. So then you have, because of built, a new movie theater will attract people. It can affect development. It can be a source of income for local business. Okay, so that's a little bit different. So you're creating more jobs, a source of income, and then you have your final paragraph. Okay. All right, let's take a look at your language use a little bit right now. I'm going to give you some basic suggestions. Let's go to your second paragraph. The second sentence there, I'm not going to go over every single problem, but I'm going to make some corrections. And you can watch, under the video that you're watching right now, I actually posted your essay so you can read it with me as I'm making the corrections. So right now I'm going to your second paragraph, and you say, built theater in my neighborhoods, or in neighborhoods, can help to reduce the amount of crime between teenager. I would change it to say, building a theater in neighborhoods can help to reduce the crime among teenagers by, now I wouldn't say by, I would say because they will spend their time watching a film instead of thinking about how they can spend their free time. Maybe period, and say also, it will be a safe place for them where they won't have to worry about other people trying to hurt them or steal things from them. And then you have your next sentence. You say, for instance, my brother loves to watch films so that a safe place for him as a teenager. I don't think I'd say it that way. Are you trying to express a cause-effect? I'm not sure what your meaning is here, but if you want to do cause-effect, you might want to say, my brother loves to watch films because it is a safe place for him as a teenager, you might say. Okay, let's go to your third paragraph. To the second sentence, you say, that mean, it is, can create. So you have really a few problems here. You have that, which is a subject. You have it as a subject. You have means as a verb. You have is as a verb. Can create as a verb. You have too many subjects and verbs here. So what if you actually combine those two sentences, and you might say something like this. You might want to say, secondly, building a new movie theater will provide much needed jobs for the community, comma, which means it can create new chances for the labor market. You might say something like that. And then instead of two shorter sentences, you now have one, and I have repaired all of those problems you had with your sentence formation. Let's go to your fourth paragraph. Okay, the second sentence you got a lot of trouble with here. You say, because of built a new movie theater will attract, and you say that can affect the development of the city positively. I will revise that sentence to simply say, I'm going to use building as a gerund. I'm going to say, building a new movie theater will attract people to come to the city, maybe comma, thus affecting the development of the city positively. I'll say it one more time. You can see the changes I'm making. Building a new movie theater will attract people to come to the city, comma, thus affecting the development of the city positively. So that would be a change I would make there. In your final paragraph, you say, to sum up, I can support their plan to build a new movie theater in neighborhoods because it can be a big entertainment facility. Here, I would say in the first one, you want to say, I support their plan to build a new movie theater in neighborhoods because it can be a big entertainment facility. Now, here's another problem, too. Now, this is interesting. So, your second paragraph focuses more on culture. Your third and fourth paragraphs focus on economics. So I wouldn't even bring up the socially thing, and I would bring up the points as you mentioned them. So I would say, I can expect it can benefit the neighborhood. How about economically? No, you might say, I expect it can benefit the neighborhood economically. No, culturally and economically. So mention the word culturally first in the conclusion, because that's the first point in your second body paragraph. And then you can talk about economics. You don't even have to bring up social, because there's nothing really social in paragraphs really 3 and 4. But paragraph 3 is discussing the economic benefits of a movie theater. And also your fourth paragraph is also talking about the economic benefits. So again, just mention the word, I expect it can benefit the neighborhoods culturally and economically. All right, now let's talk about your score. I think you, with this, when you're taking the TOEFL exam, you will lose a lot of points, I think, partly with your organization. You can probably organize your ideas a little bit better than what you're doing. And secondly, you can probably work on reducing your, you can reduce some of those errors you're making, so you have some word choice and some vocabulary problems with your writing. So you definitely want to try to make some improvements in that. But how do you do that now? So I'd recommend maybe a few things. Take a look at my vocabulary lesson number 3, and also take a look at grammar lesson number 2, 3, 4, and also grammar lesson number 7. And that's going to give you some really good practice, I think, with your editing, with your grammar, and also with building your vocabulary. So I think that would also be very useful for you right now. And then one more lesson with organization. Check out my writing lesson number 8. And writing lesson number 8 will give you some good ideas on how you can organize your introduction along with your body paragraphs. So your score here, I'm going to put you right now at about 2.0 out of 5. I'm going to put you at about 14 points out of 30 on this practice test. All right, thank you.